Peace. My name is Law Life. I'm from Medina, Brownsville. I was born on Mother Gaston in East New York. That's where I was raised at. Actually, I was born in Kings County Hospital. The understanding month, Wisdom Born Day, the year of Power Build to Destroy.
Okay, so growing up in the streets of Medina, land of the warriors, what was it like back then? What was the climate of the neighborhood back then?
The climate of the neighborhood back then, God, was like, we had a community that was like a village. You know, if I did something wrong back then, God, my neighbor would bust my ass and take me home and tell my mother what was going on, and then my mother would turn around and bust my ass. You know, there was no such thing of BCW, ACS. You know, people come take your babies because you discipline them. There was no such thing of that. The neighborhood disciplined you when you was bad. However, in that time, you did have your gangs. And I got influenced by the gangs. And I got into gang activities at a very young age. My aunt named the Temptation song after me, Runaway Child, Running Wild, because I was a runaway child. You know, and in my running away from home, I got involved in the streets, and in the streets was gangs. So I got involved with the Tomahawks.
Okay, I mean, what was that like? You know, what was that experience like then with the Tomahawks? And what other gangs were in that area at the time?
Well, that experience was, it was exciting for me. I'm not going to say it was crazy, but some crazy stuff happened. But it was exciting. You know, I remember a lot of times being in the movies, man, and stuff just broke out in the movies with a different gang rival. And, you know, you had to hold your own.
But was it like a heavy gun atmosphere at the time?
Nah. It was basically hands, chains, bats. You know, that gunplay came later on. You know, and by the time the gunplay really came, I was already out the gangs. I already had knowledge of self. Because I was in the gangs at a young age. I was gang banging at 11 years old.
And when did you start getting out?
At the age of 14, knowledge coaching.
So like understanding years you were running in the streets, whipping and running.
Ripping and running.
With the gangs.
Yeah.
Okay. So how did you come in contact with the knowledge?
This brother named Amar Mathematics lived on my block, and he was talking to me one day. You know, and even as a gangbanger, I was very acquisitive as a young child. You know, I always had a thing about listening, and that what got me around a lot of things. And Amar attempted to give me knowledge of self, and we went through a dispute, and a brother named Wise Knowledge stepped in, and he actually furthered my knowledge of self process and giving it to me from mouth to ear. I got knowledge from mouth to ear because I have a reading disorder, and I have it to this day. However, I learned in the process that knowledge is to listen. And when you start listening, it's an art to listening. You know, and when you develop an art of listening, a lot of things you hear, you could obey it, repeat it because it's embedded in you because you listen that well. You know, and I learned the 120 that way.
How long did it take you to learn 120 lessons?
120 days. my enlightenment was very strict on me at that time. It was really rough. If you didn't know the order of the day, you shouldn't come out your house. If you didn't know the degree you was on, you really shouldn't come out your house. You know, but however, I don't like using that word, but however, me and Priya used to walk the land every day and just quote that one degree.
Of that day.
Of that day, whatever degree I was on. Whether it was supreme mathematics as far as knowledge, we was on knowledge all that day. Until I knew exactly what knowledge was. And I could manifest it on my own and express it in the way I could only express it.
That's peace. That's peace. Now, what would you say like you know you couldn't come outside the house to?
I mean, it was rough back then, man, because brothers would really examine each other then. And you came out and you said you was God, and a brother asked you today's mathematics, and you was like, what the fuck you doing outside? You don't know the order of the day.
I like the synth, Mega. Do it again.
Back then, brothers was getting physically fucked up for that.